What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Black Couch. Today we have Eganam Segbefia.
Thank you very much for having me, sir.
Oh, for sure, for sure. So we're going to talk about his journey and his entrepreneurship journey and what he do as a person. You're about to see the show. All right, cool. So let's start with what are you? Who is Eganam?
Who is Eganam?
Who is Eganam? Like when someone asks you, who is Eganam?
I am an African American trumpet player, making a way in this society, but also helping each other, helping people along the way as people have helped me. That's who I am.
That's cool.
And what I stand for is seeing our humanity, seeing our next generation doing better than we are. And that's one thing. That's who I am. That's what I want to be remembered for.
Oh, cool. Oh man, that's really important to have. Basically, what I'm hearing is this is my mission for being. Mm-hmm. This is my mission in life, is to do something with the gifts that I've been possessed with, mm-hmm. and really exploit it to the world. So just like you said before, you can be remembered by it.
Yes.
Somebody will remember you mm-hmm. for this one thing. So how do you get to that place in life? Like, what made you come to that to that conclusion?
For me, it was a lot of life experiences, a lot of learning experiences, a lot of negative things happening to me, and me using the presence of mind and using other people as inspiration to turn my negatives into positives. Because when something happens to you, as life happens,
sure.
You can either react a positive way
right.
or negative way.
Right.
And at one point in my life, things weren't going as they were supposed to be. And because they weren't going as they were supposed to be, I was having a negative reaction towards it. When something didn't go right, when I auditioned for Manhattan School of Music the first time and I didn't get in, I felt like I wasn't incompetent as a person.
Wow.
I wasn't good enough. I wasn't this. I wasn't that. And that self-doubt that I kept, putting in my head started to trickle in my classwork, started to trickle in my friends, started to trickle in my family, because these were the people who I was constantly around every day. And it got to a point where one of my big brothers, Nana Boateng, he always told me, he said, look, your story's no different from mine. And he's a well-off fashion designer. Of course, it's a different field, but the way that he was able to get in through that is very similar to mine.
Wow.
And that was being able to relate to him was one of the very key ways that I was able to get out of that rut, and then also start to positively motivate myself to get to where I am today now. And I feel like I've accomplished some things, but it's not that it's not substantial, but there's still much more to be accomplished.
Right.
In order for me to get to where I was, I needed to develop a very strong sense of confidence. And confidence, I believe, comes from, repetition. Repetition. When you repeat something over and over and over and over again, and you're learning it, it's like working out. You work on this one muscle, it gets good. It gets good. You get your biceps good. When you put your biceps up, you're confident about that.
Right.
It shows that I put in the work. You understand me?
Yeah, for sure.
So now, confidence comes from repetition, comes from work. Comes from dedication, comes from time management. These are basic fundamental aspects of, how to be a successful person. And not successful financially, but successful in being able to impart something positive in our society.
That's real.
Yeah.
That's real. So there's so many ways I can go with what you just said, because it's good nuggets in there. I believe that'll work just for life being. Everybody go through struggles.
Yes, sir.
Everybody battle with that oppression, depression type things. You measure yourself up, like you said today in the clinic. Sometimes you look at somebody else where they are, and you measure yourself, and you feel
less than.
Yeah, exactly like that. But so today you talked about those keys to success that you have adopted.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of those things? Because you mentioned it just a while ago. I want them to see some of those things.
The first thing is a daily mantra. And I believe that together with, either meditating, praying, whatever you believe in and how you get spiritually connected to your inner self and to a higher being, that's very, very, very important. And developing a daily mantra that you say to yourself, that I've said to myself, it centers me. And, it helps me come back down to a level where I can see all of my goals in a plain field and be able to say, okay, I'm going to tackle this first, I'm going to tackle that next, I'm going to tackle this. Knowing that I've had my daily mantra, I'm going to be a successful musician no matter what. It means that in order to be a successful musician no matter what, you got to put in the time.
Oh, you got to put the time in.
Yeah. And developing that daily mantra, my daily mantra is inspiration without perspiration is hallucination. Like I said, it goes back to putting in that work. If you're inspired to do something and you sweat for it, you're gonna accomplish it at some point because something has got to give. Hard times don't last forever. Only hard people do.
Oh, for sure.
The third one is time management. People say in order to be successful, you have to be dedicated, you have to be determined, you have to do this, you have to do that, do this, do that. That's all fine. But in order to be able to make all of those things happen, you have to learn how to manage your time. Prioritize your time. What are you going to work on? What are your weaknesses? What are your strengths? And how are you going to, bring the level of your weaknesses up to the level of your strengths? Time. It takes time. Every day you have to work at something and take baby steps towards it so that when you go back and you look at it, okay, I've gotten this and I'm good. Like, that's where it's at. So now, after time management, you need to cultivate habits and hobbies. There's a saying, just one of tip of the tongue. But our habits become our thoughts. No, our thoughts become our habits. Our habits become our lifestyle.
Right.
And it's just like that. If you cultivate a positive habit, a habit of saying, you know what, I'm happy where I am today, but I know I'm going to be somewhere better tomorrow. Imagine telling yourself that every day for 5 years. I'm happy where I'm at today, but I'm going to be better tomorrow. That gives you a sense to say that, you know what, although I'm happy where I am now, I'm not complacent to staying where I am now. I know that tomorrow is coming and there is another challenge that I need to step up to.
It's like content today, but not being complacent.
Exactly.
Man, that's a good balance.
Exactly. Now, the same thing with hobbies. We need to develop hobbies as human beings. We need more hobbies, and a hobby doesn't mean going on Instagram and liking pictures. That's not a hobby. Or, that's not a hobby. Or posting pictures and stuff. That's not a hobby. A hobby is actually reading, playing a sport, going to the gym, exercising, meeting people. That can be a hobby where you say, you know what, I'm going to meet somebody today or I'm going to try and go out and connect with some people, network. Those are definitely different things that you can cultivate into your habits and hobbies. After that, it's you versus you. So you develop all of these things. Now, instead of comparing yourself to somebody else, you compare yourself to yourself. And you say, where am I now? And again, it goes back to you saying, I'm satisfied with where I am today. But tomorrow, I'm going to be better. You are your own worst enemy or your own best friend. It's how you want to see it in this world. And you will never be able to actualize your truest form of being a positive role model in society unless you treat yourself with the utmost respect. You carry yourself a certain way of how you want to be treated. If you treat yourself how you want to be treated, nobody else is going to be able to treat you differently. Any less. So after you versus you got to celebrate your small wins. Celebrate your small wins. Small wins are, finally finishing that song that you were working on or finally buying the equipment that you wanted, making enough money to buy the equipment. You made enough money. The small win is to study equipment. Let's say you're in school. A small win is finishing a semester with all straight A's. Because the big win for that now is graduating. It's graduating. So, with that being said, small wins are very, very, very important because it allows you to relax. And what small wins actually do is they help us understand that everything happens in phases. There's a phase where you're gonna be very challenged, and then you're gonna want to quit. It's like when you first start exercising. Somebody that's never exercised, and when you watch those TV shows like The Biggest Loser,
Right.
the first phase is shock.
You're right.
It is.
You're right.
It's shock. It's like, oh my God, what's going on? Why is my body doing this? Because they're not used to exercising.
Right.
After that first phase, the next phase, they're getting into the regular routines of it. You know, getting a diet, you know, constantly being in the gym, making a time schedule again for these.
Time management.
You versus you, looking in the mirror, you know, having a daily mantra saying, okay, I'm doing all this. Now the small wins come when the Biggest Loser starts to lose. They see that, oh, I've lost 10 pounds this week. Oh, I've lost another pound this week. I've lost another pound. And as they're losing these pounds, they can celebrate those, not by eating junk food, but actually...
To go against what you just want.
Exactly.
Got you.
But actually saying, oh, wow, I'm happy. Taking a moment to sit and reflect and be happy and smile within yourself. That's a very great way that you can express a small win. Now, the last one is what's next? What's next? That's a mentality that I believe successful people have cultivated. What is next? Once you get that snowball rolling and you get one thing done, what's next? What are you going to do next?
Right.
Let's say you finish this first semester of school. What's next? Oh, summer break. What's next after summer break? Next semester of school.
Right.
You know, you graduate. What's next? Am I going to go to grad school? Am I going to go into workforce?
Right.
What is next?
You got to prepare for that.
Exactly. There's a saying that goes, when you fail to prepare, you prepare to fail.
Yeah, that's true.
So, you know, all of these different nuggets, they're always constantly there. The principal for OW, he told me, he used to say, no, he didn't tell me, but he pretty much did. He'd always say it on the PA system every day in school. The race to success has no finish line. The race to success has no finish line. The race to success has no finish line. I had to really sit down and dissect what that really meant. And it's simple on the surface level to understand the race to success has no finish line. You know that, it has no finish line. So what am I going to be doing? Am I going to keep going as the hamster in the same circle?
Right.
Or am I going to say, okay, I've been really successful in this field. What if I use all of the fundamentals that I learned in this one field to be successful in this field? So now that's your what's next.
Right.
You're starting back now into the process. And it's all about the process. The process is where your meat and butter is, because once the process is over, it's done. So those are the 7 keys that I believe will help, you know, anybody who's willing to use them and willing to implement them in the right way.
Gotcha.